If you've tried using apps like Sunnyside or Reframe to cut back on your drinking, and maybe they help for a while, but it hasn't fixed the problem, here's why. By the way, I'm Colleen, and I'm a drinking coach, helping high achieving professional women permanently reduce their alcohol consumption by 80%, so they don't have to quit. If you need my content in your feed, hit the follow. There's nothing wrong with keeping track of how much you're drinking and holding yourself accountable. And for a small percentage of people, simply becoming aware of how much alcohol you're consuming and setting goals to reduce that is enough. But for most people, once the novelty of the app wears off, the motivation to keep using it goes away. And here's why. Only someone who's worried about their drinking would use an app to try to control it. And every time you set a goal and fail to meet it, it actually reinforces the idea that you do indeed have a drinking problem. And identifying as someone with a drinking problem is the problem, not the solution. Think of an iceberg. The part that's above the water is just the part you can see. Here's the water lines. How much you drink or don't drink is just the tip of the iceberg. Below the surface is your thoughts, feelings, belief, and then sense of identity. If you identify as an overdrinker or a partier, you believe that you really like drinking a lot. But staying up too late and being hungover and not being able to remember everything you said and did makes you feel conflicted and guilty and ashamed and worried. You start thinking, this is a problem and I can't stop once I start, which must mean my off switch is broken. Here's the thing about identity. You don't do, think, feel, or believe anything that does not align with your identity. Which is why it takes so much willpower to control your drinking, because it goes against who you think you are. Apps that support the willpower approach to change can actually make things worse, because they reinforce the idea that something is wrong with you. This is very similar to the diet industry, where you assign points to everything you eat. You might achieve some weight loss, but 95% of people gain the weight back within a year and actually end up heavier than when they started. Because as long as you identify as somebody who has to track their points or count their drinks, you're always going to have to fight the natural urge to overdo it. And that's exhausting. It's not sustainable. The solution is to focus on identity-based change. You have to stop seeing yourself as an overdrinker or as a partier and start seeing yourself as somebody who takes care of herself, who uses alcohol to enhance her experience of life, not escape it. Type identity in the comments if this makes sense. If you want to remember this idea of identity-based change, you need to anchor it into your consciousness. Type identity. I'll be honest, identity-based change doesn't happen overnight. Real change happens slowly. So save this video so you can come back when you need to hear it again. And if you'd like to hear my step-by-step process for overcoming alcohol use disorder by becoming the version of you who has no desire to overdrink and therefore does not need to rely on willpower, click the link in my bio and schedule a free consult.